Hey, David Aiken here with Checkerhead Brewing and another video for brewers around the world. I'm outside right now. You can hear birds flying overhead in the hop yard. It is the beginning of April and the hops are springing to life. So it is now time to hang some guide strings. Now, I'm gonna just sort of step out of the way. Behind me, you can see one of the main posts that I attached right there. There's a bar. 4 wires on that bar go across the entire yard, and I attach the strings to those wires so that they can climb skyward during the growing season. Now, I move that bar up and down with a winch system, so let's go take a look at that and see how it works. All right, so let's look at how the mechanics of this work. I'm gonna do my best to explain it. At the base of each post, you've got one main post at this end of the hop yard, one at that end of the hop yard. They go up 24 feet. We have a winch sitting right here at the base, right there, and then above it, we go a little higher. You've got a bar here. Attached to this bar are 4 wires that run across the hop yard to a bar that's on the other side of the hop yard. Right now you can see it, it's at the base of this bar, or this piece of wood, this wood support here. So those wires, there are 4 that run right across from bar to bar, 2 for the hops that are in this row, and 2 that are in this row over here. So you've got 4 wires running across, 2 per row. You've got 8 varieties of hops per row. And what you do is you winch them down. So that winch will lower the guide wires that go across the top down through a guide wire system that runs up over the top of that top bar down to this secondary bar right here. As the winch pulls it down, that bar gets drawn down, 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 and this lower bar, the one that's currently lower, gets raised up, 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 up. So you've got wires running across attached to a winch system that can raise and lower those wires that go across the yard, and then you attach guide strings to those wires for the hop plants themselves to climb. So I came down to the other end of the hop yard so you can see the cross member here, and this is the cross member that's got these 4 wires that run across the entire length of the hop yard. This is what the system that goes up and down is, and that's the wire that these guide strings get attached to. Now I use baling twine as my guide string because it's a nice coarse natural fiber that the hop bines will wind themselves around, just climb naturally. As well as at the end of the season, this is a biodegradable material. So when I take the hops down and I do the harvest, I can throw this twine straight into the compost along with the bind material. It all breaks down really, really well, and you're set to go for the next year. Now, what length do I need? Well, we're gonna figure that out right now. I'm gonna tie the string right now to one of these. I'm gonna crank it all the way up and measure down to where the boxes are. At this end of the hop yard, this is the longest string I'm gonna need. So if I make them all this length, they'll work for the entire hop run, and we'll be good to go. So our string has been attached. We're gonna go over to the winch now, crank this thing up. Give it a little extra at the bottom, and you're good to go. All right, so it's basically right behind me is where the hop yard is. You can sort of see it behind the garage. There's one post there, and then over here there's the other post. And we've got the first of the guide strings cut. We've got 16 different varieties. We have 4 strings per box. We need a total of 64. I need to cut 63 more. Moved out onto the driveway here because it's a lot easier to cut the strings on the driveway, nice flat surface. But boy, this is a time-consuming process, so I am not gonna make you watch it in real time. We're gonna turn on a time-lapse camera, and you'll see it, but it'll be like that much faster. We'll see in a bit. So we're back in the hop yard. All the strings have been cut to length, and before I go any further, I just have to say a huge thank you to my wife Emiko for her assistance with that job, because 2 people make it go so much faster than if I was doing it myself. Now that the strings are cut, we're going to attach them to these guide wires above the hop yard. And you can see I've already started this job over here, and here there's strings hanging up. But let me show you how the knot works so you understand the exact process. Now, you find your guide wire, you align yourself over the box, which is directly below. You wrap the string around once, and then a second time, then a simple over and under knot is all it takes to hold that string in place all season long. Now, it may not seem like a very complicated knot to use, but I find that the fibers in the baling twine itself sort of have a grip that hold that knot in place, and I've never had one come undone. Now, the benefit of using a really simple knot is also that at the end of the season, those knots are super easy to undo when it's time to harvest. So, knots are tied. Next step, run the string over top of the other guide wires. Now, I've done this all the way along the hop yard, so I've created a bit of a grid system. And what this does is it shows me where 1, 2, 3, shows me the points where I need to tie the other strings. All the way along, there are, 48 more points that I need to tie strings to, and this is going to be a bit of a time-consuming process, so we're going to use the time lapse again. You don't have to watch it in real time, and like that, it'll be done. Thanks for sticking with me this far. Once we get everything tied on, we'll be able to lift the entire system with the winch system and then tie each of the strings to an anchor string that's actually located in the hop box itself. Step by step, though, let's move on with this part of the process before we get too far ahead of ourselves. So the strings all got tied up, everything got lifted up, the guide wires are now at the top of the hop yard, and it's time to take the strings and attach them to what I call anchor strings that are attached inside the boxes themselves. So thread it underneath, give it a little pull, maybe wrap it around that string a second time just so it's got a good anchor, give it a little tie, and you're done. Again, 64 of these to go, so we'll time lapse it up one more time so you can see that process, and then we'll be done. So there you go. Our guide strings have all been attached to the anchor strings in each of the boxes, and now it's just a matter of letting those hops climb these strings and head skyward, which, you know, puts a smile on my face every single time. I hope you've enjoyed this video and seeing how I put the hop yard together. If you have any questions about what I used or how I did it, feel free to pop them in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And hey, no matter where you are in the world, I hope you have a great brew day. On behalf of Checkerhead Brewing, my name's David Aiken. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.